Hey guys, here to review Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 6, Blood of My Blood. A lot of characters came back in this episode, characters we haven't seen in a long time, man. Anyways, let's talk about the very beginning of the episode, which picks up right where we left off. Hodor. I was holding out hope, but then he died. And his sacrifice only bought a small amount of time, and the White Walkers were closing. I was like, shit, man, how are they gonna get out of this? And I didn't know about the Benjen Stark theories because I spent a lot of time catching up, so I was avoiding anything Game of Thrones, so I wouldn't have anything spoiled for me. So I was relatively surprised when I saw Benjen Stark, who's been mentioned since like the first season, but has been gone since the first season. So it was cool to see him back. But we also saw, while Bran was in his, Warwick Vision thingy, we saw a bunch of cool flashbacks in it. We actually got to see the Mad King for the first time. We saw Jaime stab him to the back, which was pretty cool. We saw the Red Wedding. And also in that vision, we saw some other stuff for dragons, wildfires, all a bunch of crazy stuff. But anyways, I'm not sure what's up. I don't know what's up with Benjen, but I think he's half dead because he said the Children of the Forest found him and used the same thing to put dragon glass in him like they did to the White Walkers. So I don't know if he's like half White Walker or what's up with that, but yeah, weird. Anyways, but he said that the three-eyed raven lives again, and he says that Bran, which means that Bran is now the three-eyed raven. And speaking of awkward dinners, Sam and Gilly, man. Sam's dad is a dick, dude. They get there, the mom's all nice, welcoming. By the way, the mom is. Anyways, you can obviously tell Sam is super nervous. And, Randall the dad is a total dick, dude. He just goes off about Sam's weight and all this other stuff. I mean, he's complete jerk. But before they leave, Sam steals one of the few Valyrian swords that's left in all of the Seven Kingdoms, which, who knows, it can hit him something. It might be hitting at something. I don't know, maybe he kills his dad with it, or maybe he fights some White Walkers with it. Who knows? I'm pretty excited to see what these next 4 episodes are going to bring. Anyway, Sam and Gilly end up ditching the place, so yeah, that's cool. Hold on, can you guys give me 1 second? Sorry about that. Anyways, I think the highlight of this episode was probably what went down in King's Landing, the confrontation between the High Sparrow and Jaime Lannister. Jaime Lannister takes the Tyrell army to go free the Tyrells, but when they get there, they find out that Tommen has made peace with the High Sparrow, and the High Sparrow has basically played the king. And I was hoping there'd be a physical confrontation, but there wasn't. There's a good old Game of Thrones twist, and the High Sparrow plays, and the High Sparrow's a smart man, and basically Tommen says now that there's an alliance between the Faith Militant and the Crown. And Jaime talks to, I think, Lady Tyrell. I'm just gonna call her that. I don't remember her first name. And he's like, what's happening here? And he's like, they have won. Meaning that, I'm sorry, Tommen is a weak king, and he's easily influenced and will do anything to avoid violence. The one thing you can say about Joffrey is that he got shit done, not in the most correct ways, but still. Anyways, for his actions against the High Sparrow, Jaime Lannister is kicked from the Kingsguard and is assigned to lead the army that is going to, I think they're going to take back Riverrun from the Blackfish, and he's going to use Bronn to do it, and he's going to help Walder Frey recapture Riverrun. And Bravos, so glad this finally. Arya's storyline has not been interesting at all. I was pretty excited to see the Faceless Man return, but then the storyline wasn't that interesting. It was pretty boring. And anyway, she's watching this play, reenacting, Joffrey's wedding. And she was planning to kill the actor that was playing Cersei, and instead she saves the actor and blames it on some lady that was there and said that she was trying to poison him. And that's when we finally get Arya Stark is gonna stay Arya Stark. She is not capable of being nobody, which I predicted. But it doesn't look like that lady or that girl back at the Faceless Dude hangout is going to be really happy about that. Actually, I think she was, because she was hoping that would happen so she could kill her, which looks like it's going to happen. It's going to be a face-off. And Jaqen orders her to kill Arya. And I think Jaqen honestly likes her, because he's like, it's a shame the girl had many abilities. That's almost pretty much it. Walder Frey, talks to the twins about Riverrun, saying that, how'd you lose it? It's not a goat, which I like that. That's funny. Take back Riverrun with the help of the Lannisters. So, Bashaba. And don't get me wrong, love Daenerys. That inspirational speech was awesome and all, but man, it's cool to hear these awesome speeches rallying people, but come on, let's get across to Westeros already. You've been building this up for 6 seasons now. Come on. Let's get there already. Riding on the back of a dragon is super cool, and getting Dothraki fired up is super cool. But we've seen cool moments like that already. Let's get all that hype and let's get to freaking Westeros already. So anyways, now I'm going to tell you my overall thoughts of the episode. Though there was some cool scenes in our this was definitely not the best episode of Game of Thrones. I didn't love this episode. I liked parts of it, but overall it was a pretty slow episode. It was kind of boring, which usually every episode of Game of Thrones is pretty good, even if it's not action-packed. And there's always good stuff about it. This is really the first episode of Game of Thrones I really didn't like or love. It was a little slow, but next week's episode preview looks pretty good. So I mean, if I had to give this week a score, I'd probably give this week's episode, I don't want to say 7.1 out of 10 because it's more out of my personal preference versus the quality of the writing and the directing. Personally, out of my entertainment level, I'd probably give it about a 7 out of 10. But technically speaking, as advancing the storyline, it still does its job in that way. So from a critical standpoint and not a personal standpoint, I say this week's episode is probably around an 8.8 out of 10 or an 8.3 out of 10. So yeah, I'm excited for this Sunday's episode, and I will have a review right after the episode airs, hopefully, because school's out, so I'll have time to do it. Anyways, peace out, guys.